Hey guys, 5 minute figure reviews here. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Revoltech Deathstroke figure. So this is the third Revoltech figure that I've purchased, and I wasn't a fan of the Deadpool. I thought the Batman was fine, but this I really like. As far as the character goes, I think the design's really cool. I've got the Mezco Deathstroke, but for me, this Deathstroke he's so articulated, and the joints, for whatever reason, don't look as awful to me as on some of the other Revoltech figures. For instance, I know a lot of people, myself included, have problems with the shoulder joints. Often the Revoltech joints are really obvious. They look terrible. But on this, he's got the shoulder pads that cover them up so you can't see them. As well as the paint job on this guy. As you can see, it's a nice metallic blue. He's got the metallic silver. It's very striking with the, you've got the contrast with the bright orange with the dark blue. It distracts your eye from the horrible joints when they are visible, like on the knees, etc. But it's just an incredible design, and I really like this figure. As you can see, he's got a ton of poseability. Like, you can pretty much any pose you can think of, you can get him into. And he comes with a ton of accessories. Like, he's got the swords, he's got a gun, he's got a pistol, he's got grenades, he's got a knife. You've got the scabbards on the back, which are removable. He's even got little grenades on his belt. You've got obviously the Revoltech joints, which are super poseable. It's just a really impressive figure. I also love the fact that he comes with a stand, which is pretty much a requirement if you want to get him into the real crazy poses. But yeah, I don't know, this figure just clicks for me, as opposed to the other ones, which just... like the Batman especially was such a disappointment, because he looked kind of cool, but just the cape was awful. Whereas I think this sort of figure works for Revoltech because it's the helmet. I feel like I don't like the stylized faces, hence why I'm only showing him with the mask on. Oh, and he's also got this really weird design there with the articulation. The whole side of his body moves downwards, which allows him to get into those ridiculous poses that you've seen. But yeah, I feel like the company is learning. They're hiding their joints slightly better, and I just think it looks great. I mean, what other figure could you have that can put its arms right around itself? It's just, yeah, really cool. So, all the things that on other series of figures would be a pain, like you can see he's got the pouches around his belt. They're on ball hinges, so they move out of the way, which is awesome. He's got the most craziest ab crunch you've ever seen. He's got really good head and neck articulation. Just the articulation's top notch. It's just whether or not you enjoy the fact that you won't be able to have him in a static pose, like just a straight up a vanilla pose, and have it look good. Another thing that I think's great is the knee pads. So it kind of hides the Revoltech joints, and yeah, I mean, it's great. And even like he's got a knife and a gun, like a pistol, that have sheaths that they just slide into, so you can store the things on the figure. And yeah, I don't have any funny clips or anything interesting in this review. I just wanted to just sort of talk about the figure, because I think there's enough to talk about without having to cut away to anything. I'm also, even though this is my second Deathstroke, I'm not a massive fan of the character. I just think the design looks really cool. At first, I thought I wouldn't be a fan of the chainmail, but having seen it, in my hand in person, it actually looks really good. And I think the really basic color scheme it's so striking. It just really works. So here's the unmasked head, which is, if you like this style of, face sculpt, like kind of anime-esque, it's I guess it's cool. But for me, I personally think they look kind of weird. I think that was the problem with the Batman, was that the mouth looked kind of off. It was too tan. The sort of grimace was exaggerated, and it just kind of looked not what I want in my figures. Even though I do like anime, I just don't like it on these sort of figures. But, it's there if you want it. The gun's really nice. And he holds all the weapons fine. Like, the guns fit in his hands good. The same hands are also used for the swords, and they're not going to slide out. It just works. Yeah, so here he is with the unmasked head. And he's got a bow staff there. But you can see the unmasked head looks fine. And it's also on a double ball peg, which is really good. It's not on a Revoltech joint. I can't remember if the others were on Revoltech joints or not, but it works really well. I'm not a huge fan of the scarf, but I can see why they've done it. It adds a bit of sort of dynamic, you've got the anime sort of dynamic flowing fabric in the background. And yeah, it's a solid figure. And I think this is the sort of figure you'd want if you were like myself and you were kind of iffy on the whole Revoltech figures, their style. I think this is just a really good one for people who like this character, or who just like really cool designs and want something that's hyper poseable, looks really good to display. Like, I've got the Mezco Deathstroke, and for me, that figure looks incredible, but I just am too scared to play with it because he's so expensive, and you know what I mean? I don't want the fabric ripping, whereas this is great because I've got the character, that design, but I can pose it. If he falls off the shelf and an arm breaks off, you can just pop it back on. It's good. It's just like a durable, fun. It's fun. It's a fun figure. And you can see I've just got put them in all sorts of poses. The options are endless, really. Anyway, guys, probably that's enough talking from me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Has this figure changed your mind on Revoltech? Do you own any Revoltech figures? Tell me what you think. Be good to hear, what other people have to say. And yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, see you next time.